Well, today is January 29th, and that is the same day as my father's birthday. Today, my father turned 83. And I'm very grateful that he has been able to live this long, and that is for one big reason: that he has multiple sclerosis. He was diagnosed with having multiple sclerosis in 1970, the same year I was born. And it's been a long road for both my father and my mother. And I know I labeled this as our good news channel, and it's good news. And it's been hard, and it's not always good. But, as I said in my last video and other times, God is good. There is good news, even in the midst of not so good news. It's a matter of perspective, a matter of understanding, despite what you see or even feel. And my dad, I remember him saying years ago that he was grateful that he got in this because it pushed him closer to God. It caused him to have a deeper love and desire for God. And I can kind of relate to that because when I went through my divorce, that pushed me closer to God too. Those hard times often push you closer to God. Anyway, I just want to take a moment and let you know a little about my father and why I admire him and why I desire to be like him sometimes. He was a man not of many words, even when he could speak. He was careful with his words. He spoke as needed. He said what was needed to be said. And he also listened well. He was a very good listener. He just let me speak sometimes. Even when the disease was taking more hold on him, and he could speak, like I said, he just quietly listened. And I knew he heard me. And I knew he understood where I was coming from. I felt like I could share anything with him. And I think that's the same thing with our God, our Father. We can share anything with our God and Father. I know my dad's not perfect, no. But those are the things I did admire about him. He was kind, loving, and he cared about people. My mom would just share some stories of how I'm kind of like him in the sense of you would talk to anybody. Sit down on the curb and chat with a stranger. And I just am proud and grateful for my father and his heart. And I'm glad I got some of the same heart he has and desire he has. And I just want to encourage you to learn from examples of those around you who are good fathers and good men. If you're a man, of course, if you're a woman, maybe you have these godly women in your life who you admire and acknowledge. Find those people. Emulate those. Paul said, emulate me as I emulate Christ. We should be emulating each other, the good attributes, of course. And I just wanted to share with you, just briefly, those things about my father that I admire. And I'm very grateful for my father and his attitude. In fact, unfortunately right now, as the years have passed for different reasons, he has a trach, he has a peg, which he's fed in, he has other things that are unmentionable that he has to deal with on a daily basis, or have to live with, I should say. My mom has to do most everything for him. He has a little upper body movement, very discombobulated is the right word, but spastic, I guess, saying he can't really control his arms, and that's about the only thing he can really move is his arms, unfortunately. But he can react, he can smile, he can open his eyes and see. And tonight when I just spoke to him over the phone, and my mom had the phone up near him, she said he smiled a few times. So I know he hears, and I know he knows, he's cognizant of that which is going on. And so if you have a loved one also who is not doing too good and is still cognitive, speak to them, speak life to them. If each of us have something to share, to encourage someone else. Even if you think you may not have much, you do. You do have something to share. You are here, you're alive, and you've got something to share. the fact that you know Jesus Christ and you have salvation through him, that is good news. And you can share that with someone when the Lord allows you, gives you opportunity. Anyway, I just want to take a few moments and just share about my father and how much I love him and how I'm grateful for him. And I know some of you may not have father figures like that, but I ask you to look for father figures around you who maybe you need. We all need some sort of father figure, because oftentimes our actual fathers, unfortunately, where they are imperfect, I should say, we sometimes correlate that to God the Father, and that's not appropriate because God is not imperfect. He is perfect. But if you look at the good godly attributes in certain people around you, remind yourself, God is a good Father and he cares for you. Just share your love that he shared with you to those around you. Thank you.